Chinese and U.S. trade negotiators lined up a number of deals over the weekend. Those talks come ahead of President Trump and President Xi's planned meeting this week in Korea. Bloomberg reporting that the agreements, however, did not resolve key fundamental issues such as national security. Our Washington correspondent Tyler Kendall joins us now from Tokyo, where she's been traveling with President Trump. So, Tyler, what does it seem like was agreed upon in Malaysia over the weekend?
Yeah, hey, Danny. Well, it seems like both sides are trying to tee up some diplomatic wins for President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping to finalize when they meet face-to-face on Thursday. But the broad feeling is that this is really just a simmering of recent tensions and a bid to keep the conversation going down the line for a potentially broader trade deal. This week, we will likely see at least an extension of the trade truce that's currently in place and set to expire on November 10th, with the U.S. effectively removing the threat of an additional 100% tariff off of the table, seemingly in exchange for Beijing delaying and reviewing its recently unveiled export curbs related to critical and rare earth minerals. The Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent also says that China will resume its purchases of U.S. soybeans, though we have yet to get confirmation on how much and how quickly that will be done. I think it's worth pointing out that we heard from President Trump on Air Force One earlier today, telling reporters that recently launched Section 301 investigation into China's purchase obligations, including for agricultural products like soybeans from the first Phase 1 trade deal, that he's saying that could be taken off the table completely, depending on how these talks go with Xi Jinping on Thursday. Now, there's a few other threads we're watching here, but everything that I just outlined really is a pullback of recent escalation from the last few weeks. But I have to say that I have my eye on that 20% tariff that is linked to fentanyl concerns, and it's been in place at this point for months, as both sides say that they are making progress on the issue. Matt and Danny, if we only see an extension of the current trade truce in place, our analysts at Bloomberg Economics say that the effective U.S. tariff rate against Chinese goods will remain at 40%. That is 25 percentage points higher than the global average. So while this will perhaps usher in a period of more certainty amid what has been a lot of heightened uncertainty, there are still a lot of big questions and areas to overcome.